Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nightlight. I'm Sprinkles, and tonight's host will start off with Linda Irwin. And Linda, we will open it up on the mic. And we also, by the way, we also have Peg Jones here. I'm just going to turn it over to the ladies and take it from there.
Well, thank you, Sprinkles. Tonight, I'm covering copyright basics, information, and tips for content creators. Now, you may think to yourself that you want to do a video and you've got this beautiful scenery and you know just the right song from your CD collection or something you downloaded from Amazon that you want to put for musical background. Right thing to do? No, it isn't. I'll tell you why. That music is copyrighted. Even if you paid a price to purchase the song or the CD, that does not mean that you have the right to distribute it over broadcast media. And broadcast media is any video, audio, or published printed work, whether it's on the internet or a book, that if you do not own it, you do not have the right to distribute it. You have to get permission. Sometimes you can pay a licensing fee to various companies, like, for example, through Spreaker and YouTube, there's Epidemic Sound. You pay a flat fee, and you can use anything out of their catalog. So tonight I'm going to get into what can get people in trouble if they use copyrighted material, what's public domain, what's Creative Commons, what's fair use, and I'll even give you some hints and tips for places you can go to enhance your content. So first of all, we're going to get into what copyright infringement can cost you. Copyright infringement penalties per the Justice Department, your first offense. Statutory penalties are found at 18 U.S.C. paragraph 2319. A defendant convicted for the first time of violating 17 U.S.C. paragraph 506A by the unauthorized reproduction or distribution during any 180-day period of at least 10 copies or phonorecords or one or more copyrighted work with a retail value of more than $2,500 can be imprisoned for up to 5 years and fined up to $250,000 or both. 18 U.S.C. paragraphs 2319B, 3571B3. Now, generally you hear things on the news about big-time people, like remember way back George Harrison got into trouble for using something on one of his songs that sounded identical, just different words, and even more recently with blurred lines. Those are big-time offenses, but that doesn't mean that small content creators can't find themselves in the same fix if the person that owns the copyright decides to press charges. Content ID is very widely used on many sites now. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on a lot of other video sites, and even on podcasting sites. So you do not want to use copyrighted material. It's best to use licensed or even fair use. Now, you can use copyrighted material if it's under the terms of fair use. Let me explain what that is. Section 107 of Copyright Law on Fair Use. Limitations on exclusive rights. Notwithstanding the provisions of Sections 106 and 106A, the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phonorecords or by any other means specified by that section for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright. In determining whether the use made of a work in any particular case is a fair use, the factors to be considered shall include: 1. The purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or is for nonprofit educational purposes. 2. The nature of the copyrighted work. 3. The amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. And 4. The effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. The fact that a work is unpublished shall not itself bar a finding of fair use if such finding is made upon consideration of all the above factors. Now let me give you an example. Recently, a few months ago actually, I used some images that were distributed around the internet for the new Star Trek Discovery pilot that was on. And I critiqued that because I was trying to decide, did I really want to pay to continue watching this? And I decided I didn't. So under fair use, I used images from that television series while I made my own commentary over the top of it. That is one example of fair use. Another fair use example I used started way back in June when I joined Vidly, and that was I used a tiny little snippet, probably 10 seconds long, of a song, but I changed the meaning of that song. If you change the general composition by using something else with it or doing something with it, like I did, I showed a spaceship taking off on the song by Crisscross, Jump. And another way that you can do that is parody, and I've done that as well. I've taken well-known song lyrics and maybe done one or two lines of them, either by recreating a different style of music myself to go as a backing, or just not using the music at all, just singing them in character. But people recognize that it's a parody because they're familiar with the original, even though the lyrics are completely different. So those are some examples of fair use. Now let's get into public domain. This is stuff like, for example, military speeches and presidential speeches are covered under public domain. They're out there for the public to use. Public domain definition. This pertains to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act of 1978, or DMCA. Public domain works are not restricted by copyright and do not require a license or a fee to use. Public domain status allows the user unrestricted access and unlimited creativity. There are three main categories of public domain works. Works that automatically enter the public domain upon creation because they are not copyrightable. And that was the one I was telling you about. Presidential speeches and that are considered public domain. Also Marine Corps type music that's played. I know I've used that myself, and stuff that's very old, but we'll get into this here too. Titles, names, short phrases and slogans, familiar symbols, numbers, ideas and facts, e.g. the date of the Gettysburg Address, processes and systems, government works and documents, works that have been assigned to the public domain by their creators, works that have entered the public domain because the copyright on them has expired. Note, use of some works, such as ideas and symbols, may be restricted by other laws, such as patent, trademark, or trade secret. Now let me give you an example of how I kind of got around that on my Awesome Insanity Surfers website. VUDU is also Voodoo, or what we commonly call the ultraviolet online place where you can purchase movies, or if you buy a Blu-ray or DVD, you can go in and enter it and have access to the digital library. Virtual Users Developed Understanding. That is the name of the church that I call. It's a fictional church that I have on my website. Voodoo. I got around it. They can't come after me because I have completely changed what it stands for. It's unique to me. Okay. What works have expired into the public domain? All works published in the U.S. before 1923. All works published with a copyright notice from 1923 through 1963 without copyright renewal. All works published without a copyright notice from 1923 through 1977. All works published without a copyright notice from 1978 through March 1st, 1989, and without subsequent registration within 5 years. Now, I did use something that fell into that as a musical backing for my Christmas AIS commercial, and that was the Edison Band and their Christmas song, and that was perfectly legal to do. Now, there are other types of things you can do as well. Let me get this one here. There's Creative Commons, and this is the most commonly used form of enhancing your content. Creative Commons license types, and this is where you have to understand what they mean, because you have to know whether you have to attribute them. Can you just use parts of them and not the whole thing? Can you add things to them? Are they free without having to attribute? Okay, the license types are CC0, free for any use, even commercial, with no attribution required. CC BY, attribution. All CC licenses require that others who use the work in any way must give the owner credit the way they request, but not in a way that suggests they endorse you or your use. If you want to use their work without giving them credit or for endorsement purposes, you must get their permission first. SA, share alike. You may copy, distribute, display, perform, and modify the work as long as you distribute any modified work on their specified terms. If you want to distribute modified works under other terms, you must get their permission first. NC, non-commercial. You may copy, distribute, display, perform, and, unless you have chosen no derivatives, modify and use the work for any purpose other than commercially, unless you get their permission first. I'll give you an example that I am actually using a 4.0 international no derivatives license. A fellow Spreaker user, Alex Exum of the Exum Experience, has released to me and anyone else who wants to visit the website 2 audio files, and we are allowed to put those into video with the image they provided, and the wording that they use has to be placed in the description or on the video or both. And you can do that, and if you want to help somebody out and help distribute their word, that's one way you can do it. That's non-commercial. I'm not getting paid for any of the videos that I'm doing. Non-commercial is simply that. You're not actually getting any type of value or money in exchange for what you're putting out there that you're using from someone else. ND, no derivatives. You may copy, distribute, display, and perform only original copies of their work. If you want to modify the work, you must get their permission first, which means that I would not have been able to put like a musical track underneath the interview that I was actually working with. Now we have, let's see here, I think I've covered everything with Creative Commons, public domain, fair use, and what happens when you go into infringement. Now I'm going to show you some places you could go to enhance your work. Let's say, for example, that you are a musician or you like to read meditation or poetry, and you want some sort of video thing in the background. Stock footage for free. Stockfootageforfree.com is one of the places you can go, and they have all type of scenery. Like, for example, here we have aerial footage of a Hawaiian roadway. We have, excuse me, mountain time lapse, which shows you a little bit of what it does there. Transportation footage, Blue Angels, there are a variety. I actually use a lot of their footage. You can sign up through Facebook or sign up through email and then log into your account. There's no fees, there's no catch, unlimited downloads. The only thing is you can't claim that you own the video. I mean, you can't say that, oh, look, I created this while I was in Hawaii. That's the only catch. Now then, another one that's fun is motion backgrounds for free. This is where you have all sorts of interesting motion backgrounds, little shorts. These are great. I use them on music videos. I absolutely love them. You sign up the same way you did for the other one. No fees, no catch, unlimited downloads. Same thing. You can use them however you want. Just don't try to say that you made these particular backgrounds. Free stock music. Okay, you got stories you want to tell. You've got maybe a cartoon or a play that you're putting on in video. Free stock music will allow you to choose different genres of music, and you can test them out. I will advise that if you're using this site, that you do not sign up through Facebook. Their app is not working properly, but you can go ahead and sign up with an email. Also, make sure your Flash is updated, that you use Flash. A lot of these require you to be able to use Flash to hear what they sound like. I mean, you can download them without it, but it's, again, the same thing. You can use it however you want. Just don't say that you wrote that music piece. If you like to use text-to-speech like I do, I actually have text-to-speech characters, and you're not happy with just the ones that came with your computer, they're boring to you or they're just not enough. From text-to-speech will allow you to choose different voices. I actually used all 5 of these in a show that I did earlier today. And you have different languages as well. British English, there's a couple of those that I use. Or if you want to do them in foreign languages, French, Spanish, German, Italian, Portuguese, Russian, they have those as well. There's no restriction on those, unlike Ivona. Ivona, you have to pay a very large licensing fee to be able to use them on any type of project. Now then, let's see. Pixabay, this is where you can get some amazing images, and these are CC0, meaning that you do not have to attribute anyone, and again, there's no fees. Use them however you want. I use a lot of Pixabay photos for my episode pictures and videos. You can type in however you want up here in the search bar to try to narrow things down as to what you're looking for. There are so many, you will just be amazed. I'm so impressed with this, and I'm trying to get to the next one here, and it's not going to let me. Okay, well, I'm going to go this way because it's not letting me get to that. The Zoom thing is actually standing in my way, or I could just probably search it up, but yeah, let's do that. Let's just search it up. I'll get a new tab open here. Pexels, they also have images. Oh, by the way, Pixabay also has video footage, and I've used some of that. Pexels video is a nice one to go to as well. You can go into videos, you can go into different types of things. They have free stock photos as well. Pexels is also CC0, meaning that you do not have to attribute anything on theirs. Okay, then we have, let's see what the next one is here. Whoops. Only thing about that. Okay, we've done, sound effects. If you're doing skits and you're not able to record things the way you want to, we have free sound effects here at soundbible.com. Some of these may be attributed when you go into a particular, we'll just do this one here, sawing wood, for example. There are attribution licenses for each one. Attribution 3.0, this means that you have to attribute Sound Bible. Public domain means that you do not. And you can download these in MP3 or WAV file. Either one, it doesn't matter. And there are other fun ones. I'm actually a contributing member to freesfx.co.uk, and they have them broken down by categories. And you can look through these to find what you might want. You need to sign up via email to that one. And the next one is freesound.org. This is another wonderful site. These have some longer sound effects, actually. I found some that went as long as 5 minutes on here. You'll need to sign up. They do ask for donations, though. And you may also have to check to see what the attribution is on those as well. And soundj.com. They also have 3,000 sound effects, instant download, no waiting. And again, they have them broken down by type. Music tracks will probably require attribution. I think most of the regular sound effects do not. So that is an example of some of the things that you can find for if you're looking for something to enhance your content. And I open it now if Peg, Sprinkles, or anybody that's in with us has any questions about anything I've just said.
Yeah, we lost your share screen at the end, near the end, so we couldn't see what you were bringing up.
Oh, what was the last thing you saw?
The
Pexels?
Yeah, Pexels.com.
Okay. Well, this is Pexels. It's got popular videos here.
Oh,
And you can actually, can you see it?
No.
Huh.
I don't know why. Oh, let me see what I get here.
Oh boy. I wonder what happened.
I don't know. I didn't do anything, but I'm thinking it is on your end. There. So, I don't know.
Let me try it again. Okay, can you see me now?
Hold on. Ah, yes. Now I got you.
Okay, Pexels videos. This is Pexels here, and you can thumbnails by mousing over them to see what they are.
Yeah.
And then from text to speech.com was the text people.
Yes.
And I'm just going through here. Soundbible.com, freesfx.co.uk, soundj, soundjay.com, and freesound.org were the ones for the sound effects. I think those are the only ones you missed out on.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
With there, if you go to some sites, they say it's royal free, or mixers. Where do they stand on the copyright space?
That's where you have to go into the individual. Let me give you an example of that we ran into. Free Music Archives. I had been using Free Music Archives and not only attributing them, but giving their full attribution at the beginning of each clip that I played. I usually did these for World UFO Day shows. And suddenly they decided they no longer wanted to be just CC 3.0 or 4.0 international. They decided they were pulling their permissions. I had to go through and delete a bunch of things. Had I had those on YouTube, they would have been flagged for content ID. It can happen. So you need to, if you're going to use a site like Free Music Archives, you need to check and read and make sure that they are going to allow you to use it with attribution, and that they may tell you exactly how it has to be used, exact wording, because even that can get flagged if you miss a word or a label or someplace that they are, such as Bandcamp. You might get flagged for that. Well, they didn't use it according to our terms, so you got to be careful with that. I know we ran into that with I used a piece of music we used for a background on something, and that wasn't good.
Royalty free. They had it at one time where they allow you to share it, and now they don't want to.
Right. They have the right to do that, unfortunately. In fact, a lot of prior pieces that were in the YouTube audio music library are now gone. And they can do that. They can retract it. Now, I'm still trying to understand. I'm back and forth with somebody right now about if somebody does that, are you still entitled to use it if it was before they retracted the Creative Commons license? It's up in the air. That's some murky waters we're going through there, and I just prefer to play it safe rather than argue back and forth. I will just retract whatever I've used and replace it with something else.
Now, is that the same with the remixes where they use parts of it and then add to it, and parts of it and add to it?
Again, you have to look at each individual artist and what that particular song is, if they allow remixing or not. A lot of them won't.
Okay, interesting. Well, that was a lot of information. It just sounds like you have to, the majority of it sounds like you have to ask for the permission to do what it is you want to do with them.
Right. Your safest one is CC0. No permission needed. You don't have to study their terms or anything as to how it's used.
And how do you find those?
Those were the sites that I was taking you to earlier, such as free stock footage, motion backgrounds for free, things like that.
Awesome. Really awesome. Peg, are you still with us? I don't know if she has any, but I was going to throw it her way in case she had any questions.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear if Peg had any questions. And we don't have anyone else in here with us.
No, not at this time.
Not at this time right now. It was very interesting, though.
Oh, thank you.
I just don't know a whole lot about that.
Okay, well, if you do have any questions or anyone has any questions, get a hold of me at insanitysurfers@gmail.com. insanitysurfers@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to answer them.
All right. So that, again, you're packed full of information, and I'm probably going to have to watch this over again.
Okay. Sorry about losing the screen share.
That's okay. Hey, it happens. You're live. Things happen.
Yeah.
So let's take a little break. I'll play a little song here, and then when we come back, we can have Peg share what she has to share with us. And if anybody else in the meantime comes up with any questions, well, I'm writing them down.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right, so let's take a little break here. All right. Well, just about a minute. Maybe another second I'll do it. Okay, here we go.
Misty mountains, dusty roads ahead, crossing rivers, dreaming of a bed. From a window in the mighty clouds up high, I can touch a stream of gold above, breaking through with hope of light and love, giving peace of mind to those of us who try. Try to make a way. I can use it. Let the sun shine on the broken. Let the sun come again. Let the heat fight all the frozen. Let the fortune. And I am above. I feel above. Oh. You've seen a thousand love of me. You have seen 1,000 times. Seen them rest upon a hill beneath a crown. Try to make a way. Let the sun shine on the broken. Let the summer come again. Let the heat fly on the frozen. Let the fortune. I am above, I feel above. Let the sun shine on the broken. Let the summer come again. Let the heat find all the frozen. Let the fortune triumph. Let the fortune triumph. Let the fortune. I am above. I feel above. I feel above. I feel above. I feel above.
Hello and welcome back to Nightlight with the OTC team. You have here with you myself, Sprinkles Nixon. You just had a big packed full of information segment with Linda Irwin on copyright. And boy, does she pick out a lot of the stuff that, hey, a lot of us don't know about it, but it's worth your time in taking a look into. And we also have Peg Jones here. Linda, did you have anything else that you might want to add before we turn it over to Peg? I don't know if I unmuted her. Are you muted or unmuted? Tell me.
Oh, you muted me, so I couldn't say anything.
I didn't know if you were muted or unmuted. I needed you to tell me.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm not really anything to add right now, but maybe in the future I can do some tips and tricks on video editing.
I was just going to ask you that too, because you do make an awful lot of them, and everybody can check you out. Tell them where they can check out, or where you can get all these videos that you've made.
vidlii.com, vidlii.com/Insanity Surfers.
Yes, and are you still using the Awesome Insanity Surfers site as well?
At the time that Vidly began, I had to cut my username down. It was too many characters, so I dropped the awesome. But I'm still using Awesome Insanity Surfers on Spreaker. In fact, I did a show earlier today that was a music show provided by Freestock Music and Epidemic Sound, and I used some of the AI voices that I demonstrated on that site from text-to-speech.com. Yes. And I made sort of a comedy thing with it. Being it's Groundhog Day, it's called Groundhog Day Grunge. Oh. And at first, when the station ID comes up, one of the AI says it quite normally. The second time it comes up, another AI jumps in and says, "You already said that." And the third time it comes up, same thing again with "You already said that," and says, "Stop repeating yourself." And the idea was sort of a parody on the Groundhog Day movie where you keep repeating over and over again. So, so it's a normal music show, but it's got a little bit of comedy in the station ID. And you can find that at Awesome Insanity Surfers Tracks on Spreaker.com.
Yes. Well, how long does it normally take you to do a video? Not a super big one, but like, you have regular sized ones? I know you're always thinking big.
It depends on what the project entails. If I have to run around and find images off of, say, Pixabay, or find Pexel's background video, or if I have to cut things up that people send me, like Alex Exum sent me these 2 really long files for the video that I'm working, the video series I'm working on, then I have to pull them up in my mixer and find a point that doesn't go past 15 minutes because we have a 15-minute limit on Vidly, and then back it up to where it's going to sound like it's a good point to end that video. And then I have to cut the rest of it out and then export that to audio, put it into my video editor, and then use the image that they gave me to use, and then put something at the beginning of it that states this is part 1 of however many or whatever. And then at the end, I put in there that this is, go on to the next video to hear the rest of it or whatever. Those didn't take me as long as some of the more complicated ones that I've done with music videos and comedy videos. A lot of the Spreaker things that we've used for Awesome Insanity Surfers is now on Vidly. We believe in exclusive content, which means that you don't have it all over the place. You don't have it on YouTube and everywhere else. That's something that Dawson and I agreed on a long time ago. So when I remade those, I had to take them off Spreaker. But they're over there, and they've got images that I made from Pixabay images. You could piece things together. A lot of them are vector graphics, which means there's no background. However, the one I did for the Groundhog Grunge Day, I literally had to take a regular picture of a groundhog, wipe out the background manually. I mean, I had to pull it up in Paint Shop and erase around the outline and take out the whole background, making it a vector graphic, place him standing in front of these humongous speakers and holding a guitar in his hands. And then I've got laser light stuff going on behind it all. That's how complicated some of these episode pictures can be.
Wow. Well, you sound like you love this. You love doing
I do. I love the challenges. I'm always learning something new.
Well, I think it's absolutely awesome. But doing what I do, too, I have to do that, too. I have to make changes to something so that it's not the same, but it's kind of similar.
Right.
By cutting certain things out and putting something else in there, like just in my little cuthbert here for the nightlight.
Yeah, he's so cute.
I like his little bunnies.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Peg hasn't really been feeling too well, but she's getting better and better every day. And I think if she's ready, we'll just turn this up to her and let her share what she's got coming up or going on, shopping or whatever it is that we're at, so that she can share with us and we'll know what to expect. So, Peg, are you ready?
And she's still muted.
Oh, do I have to unmute her?
Okay, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi,
Hello, I'm here, and I just wanted to share a page that I have on Facebook. It's called 14 Days to a Happy Heart, and it's kind of been inspired to me from the angels and from other people, because at first I wanted to do 30 days, and I realized that was not going to happen because it was just a bit much for me at the time. So I decided 14 days, and it's a group, and we share, and it's basically kind of, I don't know about you, but sometimes the winter time can be a bit crazy. You're dealing with a lot of stuff, and there seems to be more illness happening, and it's just, and you kind of can sometimes get caught up in all that, and I think sometimes our patterns, I mean, we all have different patterns of how we cope with different things, but I thought that I would just, like, for the next 14 days, offer maybe some questions that we can pose about, living a heart-centered life, especially when life gets crazy. And because I have written a book, Living in the Heart Place with Your Angels, and there's a message for each day, I kind of take parts of that from my book and kind of share it maybe in a little bit of a different way, or maybe I just may share the entire message of the day. It's all kind of depends day to day on what I am being inspired to do. But it's just to kind of, I don't know, it's almost like as I say in the on the page, it's like almost like kind of resetting, and uh, and maybe a reminder, especially if things can get crazy, because when that happens, we can sometimes just, at least for myself, and I know for others, that we just can get very caught up in all that, and it's almost like a set point again, of of taking that time. Maybe it's through meditation, maybe it's through self-care, such as eating well or healthy, not well, we all eat well. um, and or just going for a walk, or going to a museum with a friend or by yourself, or whatever it is. And I think that different practices like that can help us to be in that heart place, to be in that place of peace and calm. And and because Valentine's Day is in 14 days, there's a lot of different meanings of Valentine's Day. Not only the romantic, but also the people in our lives, our children, our grandchildren, our friends, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes we forget about the self-care for us, and so it's just kind of like little reminders of that. And I had written an article a couple of years ago about, and it had a message in there that basically says every day is Valentine's Day, or we should think of it as that, because, love is really what makes the world go round. Because kindness and peace and love of ourselves, love of the people in our lives is really what it's all about. And so it's almost like the angels want to remind us about our own self-care too on that. And there's a lot of different ways that we can do that. And in my book, I talk about, what color is your heart feeling today? And so it's almost like if we can sometimes keep track of that, or just be aware of that, especially if we are having a hard time, that, it might be an interesting practice to try to just see what comes up for us, over a period of time. So you're welcome to join the group. We're growing every day, and I hope that you join. Also, I'm planning on the OTC chat to begin an angel reading night soon, hopefully next week. And so I wanted to invite everyone to that too. And I may share some angel inspiration, but I also think we'll do some angel card reading too. So of course, everyone that is interested is welcome to come to that too. So I think that that's all that I have to say for now. And Thank you for letting me speak.
Well, thank you, Peg. That sounds awesome. And I know I'm looking forward to any classes or courses you have, and I am applying myself to this 14-day happy heart thing you have going on.
Yes, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Also, okay, for me, my updating is, okay, we have some changes taking place at the OTC. We have a membership thing going to where everything that was free on the off-the-cuff E-zine is free to all members of the group. We do have services. Some of them we require to be paid because they're taking extra time out of our lives, and we're looking to share with you and do to the best of our abilities. So you've got to check out that. We also are making some changes to where we are now going to be giving out monthly newsletters. That's a cap of what has happened, what is coming, and where we're at. And that we have updates as well, because the radio shows, the podcast seems to be doing quite well. And we're getting more and more people in on that we'd love to share with you. Those for members are also free. We haven't put out yet any scale on what finances we may have for those that are not membership, but I tell you, you're better off being a member because you won't miss out on anything. None of the newsletters, none of the updates, none of the sessions, none of the classes and courses that are going to be happening. And speaking of classes and courses, I'm going to be doing a tarot class, and I'm doing it with having, it's a $150 class session. But I'm only asking for donations because I know it's very hard, especially after the holiday seasons and stuff. So whatever you can donate to come into the class will be very much appreciated. And that the amount or whatever is your choosing to give. But the first 10 people that I can only handle a class of 10 at this time. And but those, the first 10, that's all they have to do is that donation, whatever they think is fair, whatever they think they might have. I mean, 50 cents, $1, whatever it is you choose to do. But it's a change of energy, and that's what needs to be taking place, is the change of energy. And I'm going to put a whole full backing into the energy, into the classes I give. The tarot class is not from your instructional little book that comes with every deck of cards. It's more on the spiritual end, to where you become one with the cards and you respect them, and they will prove their respect for you by the time this class is over and done with. And there's going to be a bunch of little tidbits and stuff about how to enhance some of the abilities that you have, and you're trying to get strength in them. There's a whole bunch of little things that I can share with you, because this is what I learned, and it's done the old way. It's not done like you buy a deck of cards and boom, you're a reader. It's a little different, and it's a little bit more closer for you, because those cards are you, and you are those cards. And it's going to be an awesome session class if you want to come and join us. But check it out. You can contact me on Facebook. You can contact me on off-the-cuff E-zine.com, E-zine.com, and click on the contact thing there. There's all different ways. I'm on Skype. I'm just about everywhere. And we want to bring more and more people into where they're able to get their word, their work, their skill out there. So, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't done class in quite a while, so I'm going to need a few. I think I'm going to start that in February 27th. So if you are interested, if you do hear this and you're interested in joining the tarot class, please contact me, and I will tell you what you need to set up for the class, et cetera, et cetera. And it's going to be fun, it's going to be enjoyable, and you're going to learn a lot. You really are. So that's my little addition to this. Oh, and by the way, the OTC Nightlight, we are going to switch it up where it's every other Friday, we either do the OTC Nightlight, or when we switch it on the following Friday, it will be reading night in the OTC. So we do want you to participate in that. It's absolutely free. We love sharing, and if you're a reader, you want to come in and read for others, that's perfectly fine. If you want a reading, there's no charge. Come on in and enjoy what the Spirit has to say and bring for you. I don't know, anything else, ladies? Anybody, did I forget anything? Don't forget our shows. We have quite a few coming up, and I know you're going to like them. So, let's see, unmute Peg, unmute Linda. Oh, or did I mute him?
I know, it's a learning curve, right?
It's a new system. It's a whole new platform base. And I'm really enjoying it. I like it a lot. So I think people will too, because it's not like Skype where you're having problems with your sound and everything else that goes on with Skype, because Skype tends to lock up on the sound. But it's also better than some of the other platforms that we've used in the past. And this just gives you so much more, and I like it. And I hope people will tend to come in and check us out.
Yes, and the screen shares are a lot clearer too.
Yes, yes. I mean, it was really quite good. And it held, it didn't kind of cut out. And we can put music on here, do our podcast on here. It's absolutely wonderful. And you got to come check out the Zoom, because it really is pretty good. Oh, I hope they're going to give me a cut on this. I'm pushing them. No, but sincerely, Peg, Linda, and myself are anxious to get to meet and know more people. Oh, that's the other thing. This on some of the sessions, Leslie Shepard was doing the bridging circles, and apparently she had to have some surgery done, so she's recuperating from that. But she'll be back real soon. And I wanted you to know about that and what the bridging circle is. So, Linda, you can describe it better as to what how that comes about.
Oh, on the bridging circles?
Yes, please.
Transfiguration is basically what it is, that you call your spirit guides and off-world guides in to meet with you, and then they share with you. They don't take over your body. They just simply share with you. And if you can allow the light to open up all of your chakras down through your waist, they can speak through you. So what it is simply receiving a message. If you think of it like the old telegraph operators, where they were sitting at their telegraph station, and then suddenly the telegraph starts operating and you see the messages, they start coming in. That's basically what transfiguration does. It's a way of channeling that allows for off-world guides even to come through and speak through your vocal cords into language that everyone understands. They can do that without even knowing your language, because they simply access the parts of your brain that allow you to feel, to be knowing about what it is they're trying to share.
Yeah, that's it. That's it in the package. When you said about this operator, what came to mind with me? I mean, I'm always being goofy, I know, but what came to mind? Hello, is this right who I'm speaking? Lily Tomlin. Because in a way, it kind of is that you with Ted. And it's extraordinary, and it's something that Linda, Peg, and myself have had the opportunity to do so. And it's a little strange, but then everything is strange when it's brand new. And you have to kind of keep at it to get used to how it's functioning within yourself. And it's an amazing thing. So if you see a post about the bridging circle, please do sign up to join in on us. There's no fee for it. We're all trying to learn more about ourselves than what we already know, and some of us really don't know ourselves at all. But yeah, so with that, any last comments, Peg and Linda? Do you have anything to share?
Well, I was just going to say, be sure to always join us every other Friday on Off the Cuff Nightlight, because we'll leave the light on for you.
Yes. Good one, Linda. See, she does it so big. I love it. Peg, did you have any last words? And be on the lookout for Peg's announcement for class, angel class thing coming up. That's going to be interesting as well. Are you still with us, Peg? I didn't touch her. I didn't mute her or anything. She's got the control.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm here. Sorry, I was talking and no one was hearing me. Now, yeah, I think, we're gonna have readings, but we also might have like a teaching or a discussion or a meditation of some sort too. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it every week or every other week, but I think I'm going to try to do it for next week, definitely. And we'll discuss which night is best, or maybe it'll be an afternoon. We'll see. So stay tuned for that, because they're always a lot of fun to do. I've been doing them for years on my own website and other websites too. So, and with OTC. So, and everyone always has a chance to offer information too, if they care to share about it. Also, if you have a class, or if one of you that is listening that has a class that you might be interested in sharing with others, please come and talk to us, and we'll be glad to help you set it up. So with that, I'm done.
Thank you, Peg. Thank you. Yeah, so tune in. There's a lot more coming your way from the OTC, and we really appreciate you listening in and checking us out, because we want to do the same with you. So stop in, say hi, and let's get to know one another a little bit more. Love and light, everybody. Ladies, thank you. Peg, Linda, you're the best. You are the best. So have a good night, everybody.
Off the Cuff E-zine, an online magazine that is given out freely. The broad range of promotional is unlimited. We take pride in bringing it all together for good. And we recognize that it is hard to reach a lot of people by just having a website, or even those writers that do not have the means to advertise or have a website. This website will provide discrete services of advertising and giving others a platform to share their experiences, skills, and abilities. But we believe that it is through others we learn not only of others but of ourselves as well. So, if you need a chat room to hold sessions, we can provide that with audio and video for classes, workshops, or just single sessions. Contact us to see what we can provide with our special features and promotional experience. And it is all free. Yes, free. Join us and meet other like-minded people, because that's what makes OTC the place